He represents the state of Arizona. He is our friend, Congressman Eli Crane. Congressman, great to have you back on the show.
Thanks, Sean, for having me. It's great to be here.
All right. I know you have some pretty strong feelings about your Democrat colleagues. They believe that the shutdown should be about leveraging opportunity for Democrats, making it hurt more for Americans so they can gain the upper hand. They want to let people out of prison early. They want to tax you more. They want to send in health professionals when you really need a cop to help you. What's going on with the Democratic Party? How could their compass be so off from where American sentiments are?
Well, I think it's, just another day. You guys were covering some things on your open. Sounds like more messes that we're going to have to clean up as Republicans. But I want to be real clear about something, John. I want to tell you something, and I think I've come on your show and talked to you about it before. I'm not saying that there's never a time to shut down the government. As a matter of fact, I think I've talked on your show about supporting a government shutdown in the last Congress, and that's when we had the Biden border crisis, right? And we had, thousands and hundreds of thousands of Americans dying of fentanyl, being assaulted, raped, murdered by gang members, etc. But if you look at what they're doing now, I mean, for the most part, this is about us, continuing subsidies for a healthcare program that doesn't work, giving healthcare to illegal aliens, who have become a large part of their base. And it's just not even equivalent. It's not the same whatsoever. And I mean, they had a bill on the floor today that would have, paid our troops and other federal workers that are in danger of not getting paychecks, and the Democrats shut it down. And so this just goes to show that it's all about politics for them. It's all about the fact that they hate what the Trump administration is doing, how much they're winning, and they're stomping their feet like little children. And I don't think it's going to end well for them, John. I do want to say this. For Republicans and Republican leadership, I'm actually proud of them. And that's not something that I often say, for holding the line. I'm used to watching Republicans, fold like a lawn chair, but they've actually held the line. And I think it's wise, John, because we still have another 3+ years of President Trump in his second administration. And if we start folding now and giving into their demands early, it's going to be a long 3 years, brother.
Indeed, right. Indeed. Well, and I think that maybe that is why, because Republicans are standing strong, I think it is maybe a surprise to some people. But psychologically speaking, if Democrats are sticking in this fight, it's because they think that Republicans or Mike Johnson won't. Where is that area that they feel like is flexible, or that Republicans will wiggle so that they can get more of what they want? What is that?
Well, I can't blame them, Amanda, for thinking that. I mean, the Republican Party, and I've come on your show and talked about it many, many times, has a history of being weak and folding. And so that's why I'm actually surprised, but proud to see it. And I've told Speaker Johnson that myself. They've seen it so many times. They think that we're going to fold. I think the polling is going against them. I think that what they're seeing is what I was talking about earlier. But at the same time, the Trump administration, I think, is outplaying them at every single turn and making sure that on the first paycheck that our troops got paid, and they're going on with business as usual. And, one of the great things that's coming out of this is the RIFs, the reductions in force, and us being able, because we're not in session, to get rid of, folks that most Americans and many that watch this show don't think should have federal, jobs in the first place. We're also getting, some of Trump's, Senate confirmation picks through as well. And so there are many things that are going on that are good. This also allows us to be out in our districts more, communicating, talking with our people. I've got some serious flooding going on in my district. And so it frees up me to, be out there trying to coordinate and help make sure that the folks of Globe and Miami in my district, get the relief and the help that they need.
Yeah. It is. It's an amazing time to watch how this unfolds. I think Democrats will look back and say, we overplayed our hand in a big way, but we'll see. I want to turn to something. You fought for this country and the liberties that are so important to all of us. And I think what we've learned in the last few weeks, and now even in the last few hours, that a Merrick Garland, a Lisa Monaco, a Chris Wray could sign off on an investigation to basically go look at anything and everything conservative under the name Arctic Frost, because they were building an enemies list in America, not really investigating crimes. They were looking for the people and finding the crimes. People are worried about, are we ever going to have phone privacy again? Not even senators had phone privacy in this investigation. Is it time? What is the panacea to stop the government from just trudging through all of our personal lives looking for something they can hold against their enemies?
Well, that's why this administration and this time is so important, John. If we don't hold, folks that were weaponizing law enforcement accountable, regardless of what political, affiliation they had, this is just going to continue. And that's why this is so important for Pam Bondi and others to step up, to rise to the occasion and make sure that these folks who were weaponizing, the Department of Justice and other agencies that we had, hold them accountable. And so we'll see what happens with it, John. But, I am grateful to see some of the, the early accountability that I've seen in the first, half of this administration.
Yeah.
Congressman, there are two major thoroughfares that 18-wheelers burn up going coast to coast. You've got I-40 that goes through Flagstaff, I-10 that goes through Tucson and Phoenix, and at least Tucson and Phoenix, those are pretty major metropolises. So you've got certain hours of the day where there are tons of drivers on the road who are in danger if there is an illegal alien driving those big rigs who can't speak English. So now you've got a situation where it's the federal government versus the state of California, who is continuing to issue these commercial driver's licenses to illegal aliens who cannot speak or read English. Does Arizona have a dog in the fight, and should Congress get involved?
We absolutely have a dog in the fight. And it's even more than that, because I have friends here in Arizona, who are looking for work in that field, and they can't find it because companies are paying illegals and folks that aren't supposed to be here a lesser wage. So you've got Americans dying because many of these drivers, as you mentioned, can't read, the English signs and don't know our traffic laws, and they're just being hired because they'll work for a lesser wage. So you've got Americans dying. You've got other Americans that are looking for these jobs who can't get them because they won't work for the wage that many of these illegals are working for. And so it's a massive problem, and it's just one more byproduct of the Biden-Harris border crisis of letting 10, 15, 20 million illegals into the country. And we're going to have to absolutely clean it up.
Sir, before we let you go, just about a minute left. Election integrity, even a state like Texas, which has really good laws, including voter ID, they had 2,700 people that looked like they were non-citizens who got onto the voter rolls. I know you want to really push this and make a national standard for citizenship proof. You and Senator Cruz, tell us what's up there.
Yeah, this has been a problem for a long time. I know that the folks that watch your show, John, are very educated on these issues. You have a very educated audience. But at the end of the day, this is so important. And, many folks that come into my office will tell me and anyone who will listen, this is the biggest issue in the country. Democrats don't want tightly run elections. We all know that. They want as much room for, fraud as humanly possible. So right now in many states, you can just check a box and say you're a citizen, and that's it. What we're fighting for is we're actually fighting that you as a citizen have to prove that you're a citizen of this country if you're going to vote in our election. I'm proud to stand with Senator Ted Cruz and many others who are fighting for other election integrity efforts. It is so important. I don't believe for a second that Democrats can win fair elections, and that's why they want them as fraudulent and open as possible.
Yeah, this is an issue extremely popular, what you're advocating. 60-70% of Americans, and maybe even more than that, believe in it. It's a winning issue. Sir, as always, a great honor to have you on the show today. Thanks for such a great update.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it, guys.